And hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents here on Amazon Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. If you guys are new to us here on Amazon, welcome. Make sure you guys do hit that follow button. You'll see it either here in this corner or down below. You also see the two books by our next guest. We're excited to welcome back award-winning author Tina Siemens to our broadcast today. She's the author of this book, Seminal, Some People Never Give Up. You guys see it in the carousel there on Amazon. And also this book, The Little Sandals That Could. She and I were just talking. She's already preparing for her next book. We may ask her a little bit about what she can expect from that. But we're going to also talk to her about what it's been like for her to share not only her own family history, but also to show the importance of history, not only through her books, but also she's sharing her story as well as through her museum that she has as well. She also has a great event coming up later on this year. We're going to talk to her about that and let you all know how to stay connected with her. We also are simulcasting our broadcast. So hello to you guys joining us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. Glad you all could join us too. Tina, thank you again for the time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Cyrus. I truly look forward to our sessions because I can speak the love of my life. It's history. So
Yeah.
thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Well, look, I always enjoy it as well. I learn so much, honestly, Tina, from the guests I have on this broadcast, and you are included in that. And what I love is that you've been able to share not only your own journey of history, but what it's been like for you to make your own history. So let's begin there. That's a little different than what we normally talk about. You've
Mhm.
been able to do some things that your family could not have imagined, Tina. And just this year, of course, being an award-winning author, preparing courses I mentioned for your next book, you're running a museum, sharing history. What has that been like for you to think about the history that you're making?
It is truly such an amazing opportunity. When I wake up some days, it's like, is this really happening? When I look back, and that's what history is always about, is looking back. Uh, but when I look back to where I come from,
Mhm.
I'm just so grateful that the seed of interest was there, and then the opportunity came along, and I took the opportunity. So it's such a joy to know that if there is something that crosses my pathway, that I can take that opportunity and grow it, because everything starts small. And that was the book Seminole. It began just with my desire to have a written account for my family, and here it is, a book that I can share with the whole world. So it is absolutely a joyful journey.
Yeah. And I think about too the span of history you're able to take us through, Tina, with Seminole. Some people never give up. Again, I have it in the carousel there. We also have the book, The Little Sandals That Could. And what I thought about when I was prepping for your segment today, that you and I haven't talked a lot about, and when it comes to the Little Sandals That Could, I'm going to highlight it for our audience on Amazon here. And that is that yes, you're able to share your story, but you've brought your whole family into this. And I want to share our audience something that a lot of us are encouraged. I've talked to you before about the pictures of your grandchildren that you're able to share in the book. But another thing that you've done in the book, Tina, I want to share this with our audience here, and that is you've been able to give their own timeline of history as well. You and I haven't discussed that before, but why was that important for you to share that part of your family's history?
Well, for me, history is preserved when we teach it to the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
If you spark the interest of a certain topic, whether it's history or whether it's cooking or writing or whatever your passions are, if you want that to continue, then you have to speak to your younger generation about it. And my grandchildren are just the beautiful platform that I'm able to do so. So from a very young age, they know what their Oma is interested in. I involve them. I just love having them and asking them, what would you do in this situation, or what do you think about this? My little granddaughters, they make bracelets and they sell it at the museum, and so they are learning their own entrepreneurship from a very young age. And that's the beauty of something that parents, often we say that we live through our children, but it's also through the grandchildren. If we spark that interest, if we speak about it and we demonstrate it, then if the seed was there, like it was within me, then it will grow. And if not, then at least they will have the benefit of not having to wait till they're an adult to know where their roots were.
Right. And one day I think they all will remember, Tina, is March 25th, 2019.
Oh, yes.
And that is the day that all of them got a chance to, as you share in the book, and you and I haven't talked about this, to be able to act in the trailer for your book, Seminole. Talk to us about that. What was that like for you to have them be a part of that experience with you?
I was thrilled. Both our sons and their wives, my daughter-in-laws, and all 4 grandchildren. We packed up. I literally had an enclosed trailer that I took from Seminole to Dallas, Texas, with the period time frame clothing outfits. And I even took with me, and maybe not many of your audience will know what a tumbleweed is. It's a bush that grows here in West Texas. It's a weed. It's a pesty weed, but it can grow up to, if some of you who are following me on Facebook, they grow up to 5 feet. I had one that literally flew over my office roof, and I took a picture of it on my Facebook page if you'll go back on it. So I took those type of things in this trailer to just really make the trailer look like it was set back in years in the history. And so it was so important to me to have them experience that. So that is the opportunity that they will have again with the next book trailer. So I'm excited to keep them involved. One of my granddaughter, when she came back, she told her cousin from her mom's side, and she said, "I was in a movie." And her cousin said, "No, you weren't." And she went and got her mom's phone and showed her the book trailer. So it's just releasing that ownership in them, and they can take pride in being part of the story. And that's what they will remember when they grow up.
Yeah, such a great thing. I thought about it when I was prepping for this today, Tina. And again, you and I haven't discussed that part of their story before, but they will always have that.
Yes.
They will always have that experience, but they also will have it chronicled in your book, which leads me to a bigger question for you and for our audience, Tina, because I think a lot of times when we talk about history, we don't realize that our history is so much bigger than us, because it can help other people to learn about what was. It can also help people to know what you can come out of and what you can do, but also who you can become. So my question for you is, when you were writing Seminole, the first book, did you know that it was bigger than just your own history at the time?
There were glimpses of it, but when you're in the thicket of it, just researching and writing it, but then when you take back and the chapters began to, the number of the chapters began to grow, it was like, okay, this is much bigger. And for me, I'm a timeline person. Yeah. So when the timeline began to grow into a 10-foot, 12-foot timeline, where I had to have enough space to chronicle all the different stories that I wanted to include, and then to pick and choose which stories will make the cut. It was such a joyful journey to partake in, and I'm just so grateful that this story will live on even after I don't. Yeah. It's so important to save history in a written form, and this is going to be mine.
Yeah, there are a lot of people who are going through challenges right now, Tina, and they wonder, will they be able to come out of it? I'm curious, considering what your family has gone through for hundreds of years and what they have done. Is that one of the things that keeps you encouraged when you're going through your own challenges?
Absolutely. Just the subtitle alone, Some People Never Give Up, challenges me to, when things are difficult or you have a day that's not what you would hope that it would be, because there's things that happen in our daily basis that are unexpected, are not on your schedule, and it throws you off. But if mindset is key. If you don't give up, then you will persevere and you will see the light at the end of the tunnel. But if you sit down, and believe me, there's many opportunities throughout my childhood and growing up years that I could have said, no, this is just too hard. I cannot do this. I would have had my head low and I would not have seen the light at the end of the tunnel. So for us to pick ourselves up and just keep going. I'm here in West Texas, and there's a lot of cowboy going on the farm here today with the cattle. It is picking yourself up by the bootstrap and saying, I will take another step. I will persevere through another day. So I just encourage people. There is nothing that can't be achieved as long as you have breath in you.
Yeah. Such a great point, and I love the fact that with your family story in Seminole, Tina, is that it shows that even against the most difficult circumstances.
Yeah.
But one thing that helped your family, and one thing I know by getting to know you over the years, that's helped you is your faith. We see that really strong in the book Seminole. Some people never give up. Talk to us about that. What that's been like for you to know how your family has relied on faith and what that helped them to do, and how your own faith is helping you to achieve the great things that you're doing today.
Well, faith, hope, love, and faith, they are just such good partners with each other. If you have all three, then you can go through anything, any hardship. Sometimes you need to just have somebody else come, and that's why the circle of influence. Surround yourself with others who believe. And if you are down, this one morning pops into my mind very vividly. It was during the time when both our sons were teenagers, and that morning was really, really difficult. And my husband walks in after he had gone to the office, and he just comes back home, and I was in tears, and he met me in the doorway, and he said, Tina, let's make each other a promise that we will never be down together. Mm. That when I'm down, you're going to be up for me. And when you're down, I'm going to be up for you. It's having those kinds of partnerships, whether it is a family member or a friend. And now with social media, you can have those kinds of support groups, even online. But don't do it on your own. Yeah. Faith in God is number one. But then partnering up with another person, with another human being that has maybe been through similar things, they then understand and they can just lift you up. The Bible story of where Moses was warring and his arms got tired, and so partners came and held up his arms so that the war would continue to be won. That's faith, and knowing that I don't have to do it on my own. I can rely on higher power. And my God is that for me. He has done it time and time again. And I love speaking about my faith because that is who I am from the inside out. It's not just a Sunday thing. I live the faith, just grow in it and live it day by day. And that's a beautiful way to walk.
Yeah, and I think, Tina, anyone who's gotten to know you knows it's not just a one-day thing. I think it definitely shows in the way that you live your life, in the way that you present yourself, but also the way you encourage others. So I want to talk to you about that because your humility really does shine through, but you're doing such great work there with the museum, not only, of course, in being able to showcase history and preserve history, but also helping other people to share their history. Talk to us about what that experience has been like for you, because that's outside of your comfort zone in many ways. What has it been like for you to step outside your comfort zone and to see the difference you're able to make in the lives of other people?
Well, thank you to a wonderful friend named Cyrus Webb. I have gotten to be more comfortable doing exactly what we're doing now. Technology is not a strong suit of mine because we didn't grow up with it. So learning computer, learning all of this, it has been a challenge. But when I'm in a room full of people that come to visit the museum, I'm in my element and I forget time because it's just when the timelines that I have created that go back to the 1400s. And then each year, each period has so many rich stories that we can take lessons away from. That's when I just absolutely feel like I could go without food even, because that is what feeds my soul, is to look back where we've come from. And that gives me the launch pad of where I'm going. And the museum is just that, where I can have others follow through with me and see where we've gone. Like, I have an old wooden washing machine. It's one that you just handle, where they would have washed it. And you have no idea, out of the whole museum, that is the one thing that they touch, and their memories just go back to their childhood, where their moms would have had them count to 100, and one mom had the children count to 300 while doing the laundry on this wooden washing machine. So it's these memories that I see come through in people that visit. It's just such a rewarding job to have the museum there for that purpose.
Love that. Hello to you, Wendy. Wendy's joining us on Facebook. She says hello as well, Tina. So that leads us to what you have coming up. I have the privilege of having you being a part of our conference this month. It's hard to believe it's almost here, the Right Stuff Virtual Conference, and that is where you'll be sharing people about the importance of sharing history. Do you feel like teaching is just a natural thing for you at this point, Tina?
It has always been. I was a Sunday school teacher when I was 12. I had my own Sunday school class. And so it has always been a love of mine to teach. And I think that there's so many aspects of teaching history. It doesn't have to be all in books. It can be West Texas Living Heritage Museum. I shared with the audience about the 2 buffalo that I bought, and how I released them on 400 acres here right next door to my house. It's living. Like the buffaloes, as I was explaining to our local paper yesterday, it's 2 buffaloes, but the story behind the buffaloes on the South Plains and in America is such a massive story. So it's those type of things when you can pick one item and you can tell the story that history brought. And that's what the museum and my everyday encounters do. It triggers one memory, and then it goes into many stories.
Love that. And you've been able to share with other people the importance of the history and preserving it, not just in the museum, the West Texas Living History Museum, but also, of course, what you've been able to do in bringing people together. I think that's such a good thing too, Tina, because it reminds people of how we all are connected. How has that message helped you to see the connection between people, even though we may not all look the same or come from the same places, how we all are connected?
We are all connected because we are the same built. We may not look the same statue wise, but we're all the same. We all have a heart. We all have 2 eyes and 2 hands. Like it's so many similarities. And that's what I always say. If we would concentrate more on our similarities than our differences, the world would be at peace. But it's so often, but that's again Satan's way of keeping us apart and warring with each other. But during war, there's so much strife and separation. But if we aim to just bind together, and that brings me to my given name by the Comanche Nation, is to be a bridge. And that is the important thing, that we just concentrate on what kind of plank can I lay today to make a bridge for somebody else? Because there is every day we come across people that are going through a difficult time, and we can be that encouragement. So sharing by concentrating on our similarities is what brings us forward.
So true. So as we've been talking about here on Amazon, Tina, you have these 2 books that are out now, Seminole, Some People Never Give Up, as well as The Little Sandals That Could. We have them both in the carousel here. but you are already working on your next book. I know you can't tell us much, but what can you share with us about what we can expect in book 3?
Another amazing story about faith, but it goes back to a distant family member that I only found out about less than 2 years ago, who immigrated exactly 100 years prior to me. And the line of work that he did is still evident today. And he was just a 19-year-old who decided to commit his life to service to others. And that is what the storyline will be, is that service that he committed to is I'm reaping that today. And that's going to be a powerful, because it has not only a history of my own family, but American history. And that's going to be an amazing, I can't wait to launch that book.
Love it. So that gives us something to look forward to. But in the meantime, make sure you guys get Tina's first 2 books. Both are nonfiction, sharing not only her family's history, but her own. Again, seminal, Some People Never Give Up. I have it highlighted in the carousel for you guys. It's available in paperback and Kindle. Also, of course, The Little Sandals That Could. It's available also in paperback and Kindle. You can get both of them here on Amazon and stay connected with Tina as well. So, Tina, where's the best place for our audience to stay connected with you?
They can connect with me on all social media platforms via Facebook or Instagram. Email me at seminalthebook@gmail.com, or give me a call. If you want a signed copy, I would be glad to send it to you. And if you just need a chat, if you are having a downtime, part of my ministry is to just do one-on-one. And I'd love to talk to you.
Love that. Well, Tina, thank you so much for sharing not only your own history with us, but also sharing how you're making your own history and encouraging other people as well. And looking forward to our next conversation together.
Sounds great. Thanks again for having me.
I'm glad to do it. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, I'm Cyrus Webb, and thank you so much for being with us. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.